accept our divinity.
No.
Most people do not want to know that they are God.
Oh, it's blasphemy.
Yes,
Blasphemy.
it's difficult to talk with them.
Oh,
Anything.
if there's no invitation,
Don't
say anything. Just
No.
in your mind, you still see them as the Christ, the one. In your mind.
In your mind.
In your mind. It's not up to us to correct anyone. Never correct a brother.
Before I did that, but
No,
we don't like it.
too.
Yeah.
Start preaching the
Yeah,
course, people are like,
it's-
hey, call 911.
I've done the
She's
same thing.
insane.
We all do it
Yeah.
to get started because we're so excited to hear what this is saying.
Yes.
But we're ready to hear it. Someone else may not be ready to hear it because if
Most
they're
are
not ready,
Most are not
And that
ready.
is why I'm so happy to be here.
It's like she says this is the most important book in the last 2,000 years, like maybe since Jesus, but since the New Testament. But this gift that we've been given is incredible.
my belief in separation. So if I see billions of people in the world, each of us with our own seeming path, I am seeing separation still until I ask, oh, show me that this is not the truth. Show me that we are the one mind, appearing as 8 billion
There's
people.
many.
And that's a step in a huge direction toward healing. And it confounds the mind. It absolutely
Yeah.
confuses the mind. The mind is going, no way is this going to work. Because it's a belief in separation. And that belief in the mind we're calling ego. And it doesn't want to go away.
It's not going down easy.
No, and we've identified with it. So actually, we think that, if it goes, we go. But what we are is not what we think we are. What we are is eternal. What we are is what we're learning about and where we're heading, where we're going to, it could take an instant if there was absolute surrender immediately. But that's not the case for most of us. It seems to be a journey. The mind can't figure this out.
No.
The mind wants to figure it out. It wants an answer. But the mind is all a belief in ego, in separation. So the process is get out of the mind, drop into the heart. What do you feel? Accept then that whatever it is that's happening is for your healing.
About I was listening to Carol Howe the other day, a YouTube video, I love her. She was talking about when she got very, very close to letting everything go. She was very calm, a young woman, young children, very calm woman, very confident, very, moving it on with the course. And she woke up in the middle of the night in abject terror. And she didn't think she was going to live through the night. It was that kind of terror. Mm-hmm. And what she realized was the ego was fully aware how close she was to letting it all go. And that's what she saw that it was. And that's what this eye of the needle thing is that people talk about, is that the ego is not going to go lightly. Mm-hmm. And there'll be moments where it's really scary.
We ask the Holy Spirit,
Yeah.
hold my hand.
Yeah.
Hold my hand. Because I'm not gonna trust in my strength. I'm gonna trust in your strength. Yeah, because our strength, I think it says in the Course, and I think it's lesson 47, if you are trusting in your strength alone, you have every reason to be worried or fearful.
Afraid.
But that's not what we're asked to do.
Yeah.
Sensible. The final lesson, which brings the ending of the world, cannot be grasped by those not yet prepared to leave the world and go beyond its tiny reach. What, then, is the function of the teacher of God in this concluding lesson? He He need merely learn how to approach it. To be willing to go is in its direction. He need merely trust that. If God's voice tells him it is a lesson he can learn it. He does not judge it either as hard or as easy. His teacher points to it. He trusts that he will show him how to learn it.
Oh. Digging out those beliefs within myself that are no longer appropriate.
This is why the Course says, be gentle. You know, be gentle with yourself. And because it knows we've made this thinking that we've done something terribly wrong. We actually believe we've turned our backs on God and that there's no way back. It's the ego's God is the God of vengeance and the God of judgment and that you do have to earn your way back and suffering and sacrifice are necessary and good. That's not the Holy Spirit's message at all. And yeah, so when we feel like we're failing, it's actually an opportunity. This feeling of failure, of oh, I'm not getting it right. I should have done this or I should have done that. That's a red flag. Where's that coming from? Is that coming from the Holy Spirit? No, never. It's always coming from ego, the belief in separation. It's the belief in separation in action, which you can call that ego. Because there is no entity, ego.
No, there is no ego. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
There really is no entity called an ego.
no.
Because there's no separation.
That's
Yeah,
right.
we created it.
That's
I mean,
right.
it's all part of the illusion.
It's just the belief that
Yeah.
that we've given power to.
Yeah.
If we give power, our minds are so, our mind, it's the one mind, that's what I'm saying, is so powerful that if we have a belief in a concept, a judgment essentially, that we have a hard time undoing it. I mean, it's like this is where we need to pray. This is where Holy Spirit comes in. Show me. I think I know something. Well, that's all based on the past, seeming past. That's all based on the belief that I can figure this way out. Well, that I is the small I. That's the ego. This is really about this whole course is about surrender. Holy Spirit, I don't know anything. I trust you. And in NTI, Holy Spirit told Regina, you must trust me. You must trust me. Because if you don't trust me, I can't help you. It's like call on help all the time. But it's a practice.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got, okay, have some amaranth, you know. Which is, you know, it's not something you're going to find on any shelf in the United States. But it's like, okay, so I would do that. And then it's a habit. Get into the habit of saying, I don't know, show me, show me, show me. And then we're listening. So if then we're called upon by the Holy Spirit to impart some help, something it will use as a miracle for someone, we can hear it. That's why it's important for us to pause. We were talking about that the other day. How so often we just make a snap judgment.
Yeah.
We can say, somebody asks us something, say, I don't know. I don't know yet. Let me pray on that. And then it's like, Holy Spirit, what would you have me do? And it may be an event. We're asked to go to a party or something like that. And it may be, I don't know, should I go or shouldn't I? And this is where the Holy Spirit comes in. If we ask, and it might use us. There might be someone that we need to meet there.
Yeah.
But we don't know, and we're not in control of this. It's none of our business. Our salvation is none of our business. We're being used by the Holy Spirit. We're being used. And that inner wisdom, the Holy Spirit, that inner wisdom, has all the answers. And it sees all possibilities. What are we talking about? You know, we're great chess players. We see like, 5, 6, 7 moves in advance. That's it. We don't know anything. And we can't.
No.
We can't, based on the past.
We take the second to gain the first.
Yeah, we take second place to gain the first. Yeah. There's nothing outside of us. It's just a belief that we're holding on to. And it feels like it's coming from outside, but there is no outside.
This is where the rubber meets the road, right here.
Pardon?
This is where it gets very, very deep for people.
Yeah.
There is no outside. There is nobody that's triggering you.
Yeah.
So that's where I think that it becomes very like, wow, it's hard to grasp that.
Yeah.
You know?
And it takes.
There is no other.
And that's why time is given. Time, it seems to be unfolding, a step at a time.
Yeah.
But in fact, it's already all over.
Yeah.
It's
Never happened.
It never happened. I mean, that was the answer given when the question was asked, what would it be like if things were different?
Yeah.
What would it be like?
Yeah.
And that,
The question was never answered.
yeah.
Definitely not by God.
Well, God's answer really was, it's impossible.
Yes, impossible.
I mean, that
Yeah,
was just
yeah.
clarity. But, if we took it seriously, then we got this experience of duality. If we took that belief seriously, that we've separated, then we have the experience of the universe based, and our perception of it, which is dualistic in nature, opposites occurring, until the healing comes and we realize, wait, it's all consciousness. There's only consciousness. There's only God. There's nothing outside of God. There's only love. And the blocks to love are what we're undoing. The love is with us all the time. It's constantly with us. It's what we are. It's actually what we are. Father and I are one. And that's love. And it's not emotional love. It's not.
No.
It's not love like we describe in the world.
Special.
It's specialness. Yeah. It's allowance. All things are allowed God's Son. All things are allowed God's Son. So these experiences we're having are to satisfy a curiosity until we're no longer curious about the world. It's like this dream has served its purpose. I made it up, I can unmake it. But it's not me doing it, it's my inner wisdom has come to the point where it's surfaced. And it's like, oh, there's this dawning. Oh, I see, I get it. Oh, I understand now. And and that's why it takes humility and patience from us to give ourselves the opportunity to hear and ask, show me. And we're asking ourselves, we're asking the Holy Spirit within us, that light that never has gone out. show me, what does this mean? What am I really? What am I really? Because we're not these body persons,
No, personality.
personalities.
Yeah.
So, as we appear to be moving into states of forgiveness, states of, oh, I realize that I'm not what I thought I was. I'm not this body mind. As this happens, then we actually, it appears that we're accepting it for a while, and then we go back to the way we were thinking before, back and forth, until eventually this becomes a way of experiencing life that's no longer like a strobe light, on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off. It just simply becomes more and more a way of being. It's on all the time, the light is on all the time. And that your question referring to your state is really the only one that we're responsible for, unless we're guided by the Holy Spirit to offer something that would be helpful to seemingly someone else. But there is no one else, like you say. It's really just the one. There's the one mind. And so this clarity comes when the idea that there is something that needs to be fixed is seen as a path that's already it's already done. You know, we've gone from thinking, oh, I've got to go from here to here. But in fact, there is no separation between you and yourself. Yourself is the divine, is the awakened being. The self with a capital S. You are the self. And all that's happening is that when you have these moments of clarity, you're identifying with the truth, with the self. And there's no place to go. So paths like this, in essence, aren't true in terms of being the answer. They're pointers. The truth is, there's only one. But this is what this is pointing at. All paths are pointing at the truth, but they are not the truth. The truth is actually unfathomable. It's an experience. The truth is the experience of being just one.
Yeah.
So it appears in time that we're making progress, that we're moving along. But these are appearances given to us when we see correctly as an opportunity to change my mind about something. So say somebody insults me, supposedly insults me. Well, do I consider that an insult, or do I look at it as, this is an opportunity for me to look at what am I believing where I could feel that I am insulted. I have a belief. If I feel insulted, I have a belief that that I'm vulnerable, that I have experienced something outside of myself. When actually this just brings you back, it's choose again, choose again. If anything that happens, it's about me. No matter what it is, it's about me.
Yeah.
It's not about anybody else, ever. Our brothers help us by sometimes they're not aware of it necessarily, but there's always, everything is for us. Nothing's happening to us. It's all happening so that we can remember, what am I really? What am I really? The only thing that would ever be feel insulted would be the false self. The being we thought we were. But as we realize that's not what we are absolute peace. We are absolute love with no opposite. Then that becomes the state of mind of awareness. That's awareness. And we are aware. We are aware all the time, actually. But we've confused it with our sensations, our memories, our beliefs, and we've mixed those things with this awareness. We're aware that we're having those things, but what's aware of those things? That lies underneath it all. What's aware of my anger? What's aware of my fear? What's aware of my feeling of loss? That's always there, and that never changes, and that was never born and will never die. That once we kind of separate those things and see them for what they are, just thoughts. They're just thoughts. Then when those thoughts fade away, because they will, if we're just with them for a period of time, that's what time is used for. It's the healing.
Yeah.
Awakening is healing. It's the way that the Father has given this function to the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is ourselves. We have this deep sense of clarity within. Everything that's in the Course we already know. And that is, it's just reminding us. It's reminding us. So little by little we're becoming clearer and clearer. The more we practice this, the more it becomes a state of mind. So that instead of being fearful, if I'm in a situation where I feel threatened, then I can pause and go, and if I've had enough practice to where instead of fight or flight, the reaction of the body, I'm at a place where I can say, there is no death, there is nothing that can harm me. It's what the Course is saying. I am still as God created me. God is the strength in which I trust. I have given meaning to everything I see. And that those statements have become a part of what our normal state of awareness is. And when that happens, there's an undoing or an unwinding of the old fear responses. They just simply disappear. There's changes that occur in the mind. It's no longer automatic fear response. And this is what the practice is all about. That's why we're constantly practicing. And that's what the lessons are for. They're very, very helpful. Because they put that into action. You know.
Great answer.
The sin is simply a change of mind. It's realizing that, wait, this is impossible. There can be nothing outside of God. God is everything. God is all things. And that's what it says about us. You have all things because you are all things. The Father and I are one. Sin, I can't remember exactly where it's mentioned, that sin means actually off the mark.
Yeah.
Off the mark. It's like it relates to archery.
Missing the mark.
Missing the mark with the arrow.
Yeah.
And the mark is, the bullseye is, there's only God. Yeah. There is nothing outside of God. And you've never left the mind of God. This is a dream of having left the mind of God. And every time we let go of a belief in the dream, we're coming closer and closer to remembering what is the bullseye.
Mm.
The bullseye is the truth. There's only oneness. There's only God. Even in things that appear to be dualistic in nature, to be something that needs to be overcome. The overcoming of it is to realize it actually, you have the experience of it isn't real.
Mm-hmm.
It's for me to look at. If I have a belief in needing to correct something, needing to earn my way back to peace, earn my way into heaven.
Pay penance.
Penance. Suffering.
Suffering.
Suffering is good.
Sacrifice.
Sacrifice. All these beliefs. These are beliefs that are misconstrued in the belief in duality, the belief in sin, the belief that we've done something against God, when the only thing we've really done is made the mistake of thinking that we've left the mind of God. That's all that's possible. It's impossible to leave what is divine. It's impossible to be outside of the one truth. There's no place to go. There's nothing. It's an impossibility. There's nothing outside of the divine.